And we're live. Hey guys, welcome to Frank Talks number 14. Man, I need to get myself a haircut. And we're back with the wooden panel background, this ugly background. So if you guys want to help us to get a nicer background, you guys can head on to our Patreon and donate, become a member, and help us get
for $9.99 a month.
For only $9.99 a month. So today we have an awesome guest with us. On Twitter, he describes himself as a disciple of Christ, conservative, journalist, Red Alert correspondent. He's involved with Turning Point USA and the Human Coalition. Devin Sina. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The worst is I had Josh Tifo on my show. He was guest number 3. And I totally forgot to ask him how to pronounce his name, and I butchered it. I butchered it so bad. I don't think he'll ever come back on the show.
Sure, had fun though. Still, cool.
Say hello, Devin. Just say hello.
Hey, I'm Devin. I guess. Nice seeing you. Thanks for joining us on Frank's Talks.
No. So you can't see them, but they can see you.
Okay, sweet.
So. Devin, we've been following each other for probably about a year now, and I'm still looking to get Christian conservatives on my show, young Christian conservatives, and Devin is just someone who's very like-minded to myself, and I think it's really awesome. So,
yeah, thanks for having me. I mean, it's been a while trying to get me on the show, but
yeah,
glad we finally made it happen.
Tell a little bit about yourself, just a short blurb to introduce yourself.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm very political minded. Obviously I'm a conservative, and I'm heavily involved in the church and serving at the local church, stuff like that. I mean, I feel like we're battling for our culture. We're fighting for our culture at this point, and it's really vital that we speak about these things, even not just from a Christian perspective, but just from a reality perspective and an emotional perspective, you know. Yeah. Because the left, they win a battle all the time when they parade out Hillary Clinton or people that just had abortion, and everyone the crowd just erupts in thunderous applause, like, oh yeah, great job, you just had an abortion. I mean, it really just doesn't make any sense. But we are really fighting for our culture, and I'm just loving a part of that.
So you call yourself a conservative.
Yes,
you're very conservative from your tweets. I can confirm that. Just from your tweets, I can tell.
Can you?
But we were talking off air about how the term conservative gets thrown around a lot. And one thing that I like talking about here on Frank Talks is, what does it mean to be a conservative? So I try and pose the question to some of my I have lots of libertarian friends on the show, but when I have a conservative on the show, I like to pose the question to them: what does it mean to be a conservative? And particularly, what's the difference between libertarians and conservatives? You don't have to go into that, but what for you is the meaning of a conservative?
Well, I think to really understand the meaning of conservative, I think we need to break down the rest of the political spectrum, because it's gone far left over the past decade even. The Democrats of '92 were significantly further to the right than Republicans nowadays, which is incredible. It shows how far the culture is going to the left, and it's really concerning because cultures throughout the world that have gone that way towards communism have not really ended out well. You know, communism is the number one killer of human life in the past decade. So. But what does it mean to be a conservative? First, let's start with leftists. Leftists they believe that the government is the solution to everything. And that's really concerning because the government doesn't do anything right. If you look at our debt, I think we're at, 29. How much are we at? 20 trillion?
Yes, 20 trillion.
That's crazy. Yeah, well, they can't do anything financially responsible. And they think more government is the solution. But we're paying the majority, or a lot of our budget is going just for interest payments. And they'll keep spending and spending, not thinking about the future generations, which is something like I value so much as a young conservative. in the United States, because my kids are going to have to deal with the debt as well. If we keep spending ridiculously, I don't know. Who knows if that'll lead us to wars or conflicts in the future. But yeah, so they believe the solution to everything. They don't value life. They say they'll virtue signal about gun control after this Las Vegas shooting, but they can care less that thousands of babies are being murdered daily, 1.5 million per year. They say they care about life, but it's really just to push an agenda to give the government more control. And they also group people into membership groups. They group blacks together, they group Hispanics together. They say that blacks are less likely to succeed in life, which is really concerning, because if you group every black person together in one membership group, and you say they can't succeed in life, isn't that racist? I mean, if I was to say like all black people are going to fail in life, then I'd be like fired from every job I've ever worked at or worked in right now.
Right. When they say it, it's not racist, but when we say it,
right, which makes no sense. It's just a double standard. They say they care about you, but if you look at the inner cities, they're all the poorest inner cities, the ones with the most violent crime. They're all run by Democrats. But so then from the leftists, I go to Republicans. I believe Republicans nowadays are vastly more to the left. They're more like moderates. They're basically Democrats of even a couple of years ago. And I feel like, I don't know how you guys feel about Trump, but I feel like Trump has really, he's not really principled. So he's torn the movement either way. He just kind of says what comes to mind.
I think it's funny that one of Bill Clinton's slogans was "Make America Great Again."
I know, and they coined that as white supremacist phrase. I'm like, I've heard Bill Clinton use it. Have you heard Hillary use it? I'm like, I'm really confused as to how that's white supremacist speech.
You're not old enough to remember when Bill Clinton used it.
What's that?
You weren't even alive. You're not old enough to remember that. I was.
Watched his speeches and heard him speak. But yeah, I mean, the modern Republican Party is just so far left. I mean, they just push the latest, like all the tax reform bills, the infrastructure plans. That's not conservative ideology. The Republican Party used to be conservative, but now they're pushing for like increased spending, and immigration policy doesn't really line up with a lot of conservative thought in the past few years. And, it used to be a party of fiscal responsibility and whatnot, but I don't know. They just seem like they don't have a clear message. And I feel like a lot of that is due to Trump. And even before Trump, with Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan, we're over here killing thousands of babies a day, and they're fighting over senseless things, They came and passed Obamacare. All it would take to defund Planned Parenthood is one single line of legislation. They have control of every branch of government, but they can't pass a single line of legislation that defunds Planned Parenthood. And that right there shows what their priority is. Do they really have a priority of life? Do they really have a priority of family, our future? But I guess from there we have libertarians. I put libertarians as further to the right than Republicans. I know these vary. There's paleo-libertarianism. There's all kinds of different versions of libertarian. Some that are more socially conservative, some are socially liberal, believe in abortion and stuff like that. But classic liberals started out, and then libertarians kind of broke off from that. And they're firm believers in free speech and limited government of the Constitution. And they believe in power going to states and local governments. And I really like that, because that's close to conservatism. It's headed the right direction.
Right.
But a lot of libertarian thought, like I said, some of them are very socially liberal, and they believe that abortion should be permitted because it's not the government's right to prevent a woman from having an abortion, which I believe the Constitution protects life at all stages.
The Fifth Amendment, that no person shall kill life, liberty, or property taken from them without due process.
Exactly.
That
Right.
line right there does away with slavery, it does away with abortion, does away with
Right.
all those different things, but you got to follow the rule.
Right. I mean, you can't pick and choose what part of the Constitution you want to follow.
Right.
And from there, I have paleo-libertarianism, which I think would be one of the best solutions. That's the best way of doing things, because they believe in the opposition to government interaction, and they also believe in the cultural values that conservatives believe in that are important. But being that that's still, paleo-libertarianism is a very small movement and it's still up in the air, many of their beliefs, I choose to identify with conservative, which I believe is even more further to the right. Which I hate labels because they're vast and a lot of people identify different ways, and the terms mean different things at different times. But I believe as a conservative, what it means for me to be conservative is to believe faith is vital to our government. So many people are like, "Oh, separation of church and state." I'm like, it's impossible to separate my Christianity, like my worldview, my perspectives on life and what the Bible says, and how I'm supposed to be acting as an ambassador for Christ. You can't exactly separate that. It's like inseparable. So any legislation that you'll pass will be subconsciously Christian, subconsciously the fact that you can see the Holy Spirit through us,
Right.
But yeah, so another tweet I saw recently was they were saying how Roy Moore in Alabama, he's a senator, or I'm not positive, I think he's running for Senate, but he was saying how our rights come from God. And there was so much controversy. I think Keith Olbermann was like, "Oh, he doesn't even read the Constitution." I was like, but the Constitution clearly mentions our rights come from our Creator. Yeah. And that also, I believe, is very important, because if we don't recognize our rights are from our Creator, then the rights will just fall apart. If it's subjective.
Do you mind if I question a technicality? Because I know that that's in the Declaration where the rights come from our Creator. We are endowed by our prayers with certain rights, to life, liberty, pursuit, and happiness. But I can't think off the top of my head where that is in the Constitution.
It's actually not it's not in the Constitution. It's in the founding documents. It's in the
It's in the Declaration.
Yeah, right.
Okay, all right. So yeah, just so people don't flame us in the comments on a technicality.
Yeah.
People never comment, but just in case. Well, I think I can think one case where someone really ripped me apart. Not ripped me apart, but tried to rip me apart in the comments.
Right.
And, I don't feel like dealing with it. So we're dealing with that now. So I see you typing. That that it's not in the Constitution. Stop. All right, back to what you were saying. You were talking about.
I can't see the chat, but hey guys.
So faith is important to conservatism. What else
absolutely
is essential to conservatism?
Yeah, I feel like still on the faith topic. I feel like so many, like I said, they say that we should separate church and state. We shouldn't legislate morality, still called morality. But I feel like a lot of the people that say that are actually trying to legislate their immorality. If you're not a Christian, what are you? I mean, what are your perspectives? What are your worldviews? How do you base your morals? So if you're not a Christian, you have a belief system. You're either atheistic or agnostic. Those belief systems will determine your legislation, the direction the country takes. So the separation of church and state, you can't really separate church and state, just like they can't separate their religion from governing as well.
Yeah, some form of, you're still imposing some form of morality,
right?
No matter which side you're imposing it.
Right. Absolutely.
All right, go on.
So also off the fake topic, I also believe in family. Family is such an important thing, which we've devalued. We've devalued with feminism and I don't need no man. That whole schluck. I mean, it's sad that we've corrupted the modern family. It's so important, I mean, we have
and not the TV show.
No, not the TV show. But yeah, if you look at like Chicago, I believe their single motherhood rate is about around 70%.
Wow.
And just that there, when you look at the crime statistics, that's a direct result of a single motherhood rate. If you don't invest in families, if you don't encourage Black fathers to stay in the home, if you don't advocate for that as a conservative, then you're really hurting the people. You can reduce gun restrictions, but it's not gonna solve the actual cultural issue. So I mean, we need to get Black fathers back in the homes and stop leaving mothers. And then also like libertarian thought, I also believe in opposition to the government, because we've had 100 million that have died from communism in the last, I think, 100 years. It's got under so many different leaders, and it's incomprehensible. They're like, oh, we've never tried socialism. I'm like, yes, we have. We've tried it dozens of different times, and it's never worked.
Yeah.
So, and then I also believe in individual responsibility. I know the left a lot of times talks about like, oh, you just jump on welfare. You're part of that member group. But in America, you're a result of your decisions. You're not a result of your skin color or gender or race. It's or where you come from, your economic status. There's such mobility in your income, where you can start out poor and end up at the end of your life very rich. And like Ben Shapiro says a lot, you follow these three things: child out of wedlock, graduate high school, and get a job. But if you follow those three things,
all right, there you go.
That's the three. Yeah. If you follow those three things, then you'll succeed in life.
Yeah.
But the left, they want to put people on welfare. They don't want people to have individual responsibility. They don't believe these things are important. And that's the reason their culture is. That's why they're so poor, so much crime. They're looking, like I said, they're looking to gangs as father figures because they don't have fathers in the family, and it really destroys their culture. So I just think as a conservative, it's just so important we fight for the cultural issues too, because like I said, if you don't fight for even life, if you can't fight for life, why are we fighting for the Second Amendment? If you care about preserving life, you can't first preserve it in the womb. Why would you care about preserving it after they're born?
So would that be that would be your outline of conservatism there?
Yeah, I've limited government, individual responsibility, family, and the importance of faith. So that.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that you clarified. It's limited government. It's not. I mean, not necessarily small government. It most likely will be, but the fact that the government should be limited from doing certain things. It's limited.
Right. We should have balanced budget. We shouldn't be spending wastefully. We should give power back to the states and the local governments. Common Core was a garbage federal mandate that should go back to the cities. That should go back to individual areas. We should also allow school choice. The money should follow the kid. It shouldn't go directly to public schools.
Yeah, we should definitely encourage systems like school choice.
Right. I mean, in even Chicago, in poor neighborhoods, they don't have incredible teachers. So the federal money should actually follow the actual student to whichever school they want to go to that will benefit them the most.
Yeah. Cool. That's awesome. And I know that a lot of my viewers, a lot of people I talk to, they really enjoy hearing, conservatives, young conservatives, come and talk about, their beliefs and their thoughts. Even people that are really seasoned political junkies, they still enjoy hearing that there are people in our generation that do, care about these things, that they
Absolutely
want to conserve these values and to pass them on to the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
So the next thing, I want to know how you got into politics, how you came to identify as a conservative.
Yeah,
we want to know your story.
Yeah, so there wasn't I can't think of a specific time when I'm like, oh, I'm a conservative. Oh, I'm interested in politics. I think about a year and a half ago, God ingrained a passion. He ignited a passion for politics into my life, and since then, I've just been advocating for these important things. I really can't think of a specific time when something sparked, but I just know that God think it's incredible that at 18 that God has put a plan in my life to fight for the unborn, to fight for limited government, to fight for life. It's just in general, future generations. So I think it's just really a passion that God's put in my heart. I wasn't a specific political commentator. I love Ben Shapiro, I love Andrew Klavan, I love all kinds of people. They're all incredible, but yeah, nobody specifically got me interested in politics. I could just thank God for that.
Yeah, and your parents lean pretty much the same political positions as you.
Yeah, I mean they're more Republican.
Mm-hmm.
They're more. I believe in principle
More
of a party. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. I believe in principle of a party. Like if your party is doing something that doesn't fight for limited government. I mean, if you're passing $1 billion infrastructure plan, is that really fiscally conservative? Is that really thinking about future generations?
And that's definitely a marker of the Generation Z and the younger millennials. It's principle of a party, and
right.
It's definitely a marker of this.
Right, you wouldn't
frame that we're in.
Right, and the media they selectively choose very leftist people to comment on politics and stuff like that. But working with Turning Point USA and organizations like Young Americans for Freedom and stuff like that, you can see there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are interested in politics that are under 21. That man, when they reach voting age, it's gonna be incredible that we can really change the country's route it's taking right now. And I'm really excited for that because just recently we had the Young Women's Leadership Summit in Dallas, Texas, and there were 1,500 women that gathered, and everyone's like, "Oh, your party hates you. Like you're not the party of women." But look at these 1,500 women that are actually fighting for these values that are so important. They don't need feminism to succeed. They don't need to be thrown into a membership group for like special treatment. That they can just succeed on their own as an individual and be their own person, make their own decisions to succeed in life. So
awesome. So what advice? Okay, so you are what year are you in? This is your sophomore year of college.
Yeah, I have about a year left. I'm just working my associate's degree right now, and then from there, I'll see what I'll do from there.
I don't think I asked you on or off air. What are you going for your associates in? Or just associates is just general?
Yeah, it's just general business associates.
Okay. Business associates.
Yeah.
Okay. What advice would you have? What advice would you have for young, conservative-leaning, or even like libertarian, classical liberals who come into their college and they want to have an impact on their campus? What kind of advice would you give them?
Well, man, you can go step on a college campus and you can feel the incredible leftist leaning and even blatant leftism with trigger warnings and safe spaces and stuff like that. I think the biggest thing for people interested in politics or people interested in not even politics but changing the culture, fighting for life. People think that's a political issue. It's not really a political issue. It's really just valuing life, valuing liberty, valuing America as a whole. But if you value those things, I would definitely I would recommend that you connect with like-minded people on campus. There's Young Americans for Freedom, Young Americans for Liberty, like the Libertarian organization. There's Turning Point USA, even College Republicans, and there's all kinds of organizations that can get you connected with other like-minded people and can really help kickstart your, even if you don't want to do it as a career, but just like-minded people where you have a support system on campus where campuses are so liberal that you feel like you're a criminal on campus. You're able to have somebody to vent to, have somebody to speak to, even have a support network. We have campus reform that if you see like incredible liberal bias, you can report it to them and they'll help you through the system. They'll even provide like legal support and they'll post stories, stuff like that, to just help. They're trying to combat the leftism on campus and fight for. College is supposed to be a place where you learn all ideas, and have diversity of opinion, diversity of thought. Now they're just like there's only one opinion you can think of. There's only one opinion you can follow, which is really concerning because, I mean, we do have thousands and thousands of incredible conservatives like me, but we definitely need more to start fighting for these important causes, or we'll be overrun by the vast liberals that are graduating from college right now from these universities. So,
and, let me see. Is there any particular organization you would recommend? I know that you're involved with Turning Point, and you also talked about Young American Foundation, Young Americans for Liberty, and College Republicans, and what was the other one? These are all organizations where we've had people from those groups come on this show.
Right. They're all great. They have different missions. They have different some different ideology things, but ultimately we're all fighting for limited government, for freedom, and restoring the culture. That's so important.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And we were talking beforehand about getting involved, and not just getting involved, but starting a chapter on different campuses. That's really great for young conservatives who might be watching this, because it looks good on your resume. If you said, "Hey, listen, I started this chapter and I ran this chapter through college," it looks really great, and then you can have an impact on your college campus. It's something I wish I had done. I went to a Bible college for 2 years, and then I did community college for 1 year, and then I finished out at an online Bible college. And for that 1 year that I was in community college, it was really cool because I could have a really big impact on the people around me with my faith and with my political beliefs.
Right.
I was like, I'd been into politics for a couple of years by then. And I was like, it was really starting to pick up once that year that I did in community college.
Right.
I wish that I had started some sort of group, that I was involved with Turning Point. That would have been really cool to start a chapter.
Absolutely.
Even though I was only there for a year, that would have been really interesting to start a chapter.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you have. It's not like you're just given materials and just go to create a little group on campus. You have regional managers, you have field directors that will actually come to your campus and help you through all the paperwork to get it recognized by the college. They'll be at your tabling events. They'll help you get it off the ground. Mm-hmm. It's not like they just give you stuff and good luck. They're actually here to support you. They want you to be successful. They want you to be a good advocate for limited government and stuff like that. So it's really incredible. So
tell them if they want to start a chapter, what should they do?
I'm not sure exact web URL to get for more information, but you can apply right on the Turning Point USA site. It's tpusa.com. And
there we go.
Right there, from there, you can see the chapter directory. You can see if there's a chapter on your campus. Mm-hmm. If there isn't one on your campus, you can fill out a form to request more information on how to start one. And it's really an incredible organization. It's a nonprofit, and they give you incredible material. They host you at different conferences where you get to learn from the greatest leaders in the conservative movement for completely free, and you just have to pay for transportation there, which is incredible. But they're all about empowering young leaders to just fight for the future of America.
Yeah, awesome. That's cool. So let people know where can they find you, where do they follow you, or any other social media plugs you have.
Yeah,
this is the time.
Right now you can just find me on Twitter and Facebook at Devin Senna UI.
Okay.
Yep, and that's where most of my advocacy is on, and my and where you can find me and catch up with me.
All right, that's awesome. Well, thank you very much, Devin. It was awesome having you on the show, and I always enjoy having fellow conservatives, fellow believers on the show. It's just really cool to have like-mindedness.
Right.
You're always welcome back, as all my guests are, except for that one guy. What was his name? Josh. Yeah, Josh. He's not welcome back. Let him know.
Will do.
No, all my guests are welcome back. As long as there's something we can talk about.
Yeah.
I literally just enjoy talking with people and just being able to record it and having people watch it. I think that's really awesome.
Absolutely.
So you stay on, and I'm going to just do an outro, and then we'll chat a little bit afterwards if you got time.
Cool.
All right, guys. So if you're watching this, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're expecting, with Devin's thousands of followers, we're hoping at least 10% of them come and watch this video, and that'll give us 1,000 views. And if 10% of those 1,000 subscribe to our YouTube channel, we'll get 100 new subscribers. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you want to follow me on Facebook or Twitter, the links will be in the description. And let me see, what other social medias do we have? Also, if you want to support this work and help us keep making content like this, the link to our GoFundMe for one-time contribution, that's in the description, and also the link to our Patreon for our ongoing contribution, that's in the description. And we do videos like this. I do short videos where I talk about faith and politics and whatever comes to mind. And we also do long interviews like this where I talk to people from all different walks of life. Thank you guys for your time, and good night, and good luck to us all.